So hello students, welcome back to my channel and another video in which we are going to start a new chapter, that is microorganisms. This chapter is too much interesting and a little bit confusing too, but we would clear all your doubts in two videos only. I have made two videos because this chapter is a little bit confusing and you will confuse in just one video, and it would also take too much long. So why are we delaying? Let us start. So friends, when we see the nature, then we come around different things bigger than 1 mm, such as elephant, tiger, dog, cat, rat, and even ant. But this all does not end up here, but there are not million, not billion, but trillions of organisms which we cannot see from our naked eye in the nature. Why can't we see them? So basically now we are going to study a little bit about human eye, that thing that are of size of 1 mm or bigger than 1 mm are easily visible to human naked eyes. When things become between the size of 1 mm to 0.1 mm, they are hardly or very hardly visible to human naked eyes, such as a grain of salt, a grain of sugar, a grain of sand, and many more things. But when things start become to be size of less than 0.1 mm, then they are not visible to human naked eyes, such as these molecules. These atoms, these animal cells, and these plant cells. Any of them is not visible by human naked eyes. So now we would study about what are microorganisms. So microorganisms are the living creatures that are smaller than 1 mm, and we talked about them in the last slide, that there are not billions, not millions, but trillions of microorganisms in the nature. So microorganisms basically too small to be seen from naked eyes, and that is why they are in trillions of amount too, but we cannot see them. So you must be in trouble that, oh my god, microorganism will harm me, and if they are in trillion, then it's difficult or impossible to escape from them. So basically all of the microorganisms are not bad. Some of them are good guys and some of them are bad guys. We would study them one by one in our next video of microorganisms, friends and foes. So now I am giving you an astonishing news that there are 205 different types of microorganisms on your skin. Now you must be thinking that why there are different types of microorganisms, not just only one type. So if you observe desert and tropical rainforest, I am just denoting it as TR, then you would see that there are different animals of different types of adaptation. Like a camel is adopted to the desert, whereas an elephant is adopted to the tropical rainforest. Like that only, the tropical rainforest climate of your armpits that are too moist and have huge amount of hairs that are like trees and plants to the microorganisms, they are adapted in different way to the microorganisms that feel as desert on your dry and with not moist arms. Another astonishing news is that microorganisms are everywhere. Like I said, that no one can escape from them. Even on your body, there are microorganisms more than a world. This whole world, they are even bigger amount than the people in this world. That's astonishing. The next point is that even in 1 tablespoon of salt, there is 1 billion bacteria, 1,20,000 of fungi, and 25,000 of algae in just 1 tablespoon of salt. Can you just imagine? Well, now we would classify microorganisms into different parts for a just better analysis. They are first protozoa, second fungi, third alga, fourth is bacteria, and fifth is virus. So let us study them one by one. Firstly, we would study bacteria in detail. So bacteria is also good and also bad. So in this video, we would denote the good bacteria, the good bacteria as Mr. Bacter and the bad bacteria as Mr. Bacterium. So we would study them one by one. First we would study about Mr. Bacter. So Mr. Bacter does many things, like if Mr. Bacter is in our intestine, then he stops the invader bacteria, give us nutrition that could be denied otherwise, and do many more functions that is hidden to us. Mr. Bacter is not just in our intestine, but he's also a cook that makes tasty foods. You must be eating curd in hot summer days. You must be enjoying its taste. Now you know what? There are trillions of organisms even in curd. How your mother makes a curd? Your mother what does basically is that she warms up the milk and adds a little bit of curd, that is lactobacillus bacteria or lactic acid. So what happens that when lactic acid gets warmed in the milk, then it starts to multiply very rapidly and turns the whole milk like it only, that is like curds. You must have enjoyed the taste of good cheese. So basically cheese is also made of bacterium that is called streptococcus, in the same way only. Now many people who have studied about streptococcus must be thinking that streptococcus is a bad bacteria, as streptococcus makes pneumonia. That's a big disease. But streptococcus changes its way here and there, and it just moves like hither and thither. So when streptococcus needs, then it becomes good, and when streptococcus doesn't need, it becomes bad. So now we move to our second point, that is thing through which a pathogen is get transferred from host to other person is called a vector. So basically when a pathogen, that is a bacterium cell, gets transferred from a person to another person, like we have seen that many people sneeze and the other person gets a same virus or bacteria. So the person's sneeze is just the vector. A vector is a medium that just transfers the disease pathogen from the host to the receiver. So, what about bad bacteria that we denote Mr. Bacterium? So, Mr. Bacterium can make you ill and even kill you with the diseases such as um tuberculosis, diphtheria, etc. So, now we would talk about a bacterium that almost ended half of the population of Europe in 15th century. In 15th century, a bacterium attacked Europe that was known as Black Death or bubonic plague. So what basically happened, the ships from China went to Europe that carried huge amount of grains of rice, wheat, maize and many other millets. In that ship only the mice attacked being unknown. When the ship reached to Europe, then the mice came in the Europe. All means many of the mice got affected by a disease called bubonic plague, and the vector was basically a flea that took the blood of the mice and just got infected blood and then bited a person, and that person got black death. Now black death was a terrible thing that just ended half population of Europe. Even I'm saying you a terrific news that the poem that we recited in our childhood, that was Ringa Ringa Roses, pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down, that is also based on Black Death. Means in Black Death, people start to form black roses or like ring shape on their faces. Their pocket is full of medicines because they want to save their life. A tissue, like in coronavirus, they also start to sneeze and we all fall down. Means they are dead. Terrific. So let us move on to fungi. So basically, fungi has 4 parts that we are going to describe in this video one by one, that is mushroom, yeast, and fungi is used as antibiotics, and also fungi are good decomposers. So first, think about mushroom. So mushroom is a very attractive, beautiful and edible thing that just attracts anybody to him or her. Mushroom is made in labs and also grows naturally. People eat them in different ways, and you must have ate them in pizzas like I have ate them. So basically, mushrooms are not always good or edible. Like you went to a camp and ate the mushroom, then it is not sure that the mushroom is one of the good mushrooms, because the mushroom can be a bad mushroom wearing a face mask of a good mushroom. This mushroom can even cause you diseases, make you ill, and in many cases it also kills people. So do not eat mushroom from here and there, just take them from the shops that are edible. So let us move to our next topic, that yeast. Now this is very important topic. In this we are going to study that how yeast is useful in making cakes, breads and many more items including alcohol too. So yeast is basically a fungi that is single celled. So basically what happens, that yeast does fermentation, means breaks sugar into alcohol, and when yeast gets warmed, then yeast converts itself into many copies, and during its reproduction it releases carbon dioxide. So basically when we bake cake and the yeast gets warmth inside the oven. It releases carbon dioxide during the process of reproduction, and it makes the cake fluffy and gives it a taste of heaven. Now, how yeast is useful in making alcohols? So, yeast basically does a reaction with sugar water, that is called fermentation. Now, in fermentation, basically what happens is that yeast is given in the sugar and it is closed. Carbon dioxide is released and this water becomes alcohol. So we have discussed yeast and now we are going further on how fungi are decomposers. So fungi are also living, but they are not animals or not plants. That is why scientists gave them their own unification, that was of fungi. Means, why they are not plants? It is understandable that they cannot walk like animals, they cannot even talk like animals, but why they cannot stand but why fungi are not classified as plants? So the main thing that helps in classification of plants is photosynthesis, but fungi cannot do photosynthesis, so they take their nutrition from any other source, or I can say that they prefer a dead source always. That is why they are known as decomposers. Second, last topic is how fungi helps in making antibodies. So basically, in the year of 1929, a scientist called Alexander Fleming, which we can see in this picture, made an antibiotic, which we are going to study in our next video very thoroughly. He made an antibiotic that was of a fungi and named it on fungi. So the fungi's name was penicillium, whereas the fungi's medicine, which was antibiotics, name was penicillin. It was even the first antibiotic that was discovered ever. So let us move on to protozoa. Protozoa are very much creepy, and they can even infect you. Diseases like malaria are even spread by protozoans from the plasmodium cells. So basically what happens, that a female mosquito that is affected of protozoa and also called Anopheles sucks the blood inside the human, and a little bit of protozoa, that is malarial plasmodium, comes inside the human body, that goes to liver and makes copies of itself and makes the person affected of malaria. So why we are thinking that just Anopheles mosquito, not Aedes mosquito, just Anopheles mosquito take blood? That is a big question. So the answer is just simple, that Anopheles mosquitoes need blood to produce eggs, and that is why they are affected by protozoa. They suck the blood for making eggs, and they make the person infected. This makes the mosquitoes as the deadliest animal in this world, and even many people get affected many people die due to mosquitoes only. Now paramecium and amoeba are two examples of protozoa, and as we know that mosquito is a vector of malarial parasite. So let us further go to our last topic, that is virus. So virus has basically less to think of, because virus is less classified, and it is always means almost all times virus is bad for us. So viruses are basically categorized into the between of living and non-living. Why? Because when viruses are out of the body, like coronavirus, they act as dead things, that they just lie in the corner of anything, and when just people touch anything and that thing that acts as a vector of virus to any open pore, the virus enters inside the body, goes to liver, makes copies, and then affect whole body. Like in computer, that till virus is outside the computer, it is good. But when a affected pen drive or an affected CD becomes the vector and injects inside the computer, the virus goes inside computer, makes copies, and infects the computer. So that was enough for today, and I hope that you all understand everything. So please, if you didn't understood anything, then comment me down in the comment section. So thanks for watching. In 5 likes, we would make another video that will be of microorganisms, friends and foes. And in 5 comments, if you or any 5 people comment that they want a detailed video of microorganisms introduction, such as how microorganisms came, how microorganisms evolved in just short for themselves or their curiosity, then they can just comment down below 5 comments and I will make a detailed video on it. Whenever 5 comments complete on this video, I would make a detailed video on microorganisms. Now what can you do if I had made another video and I have lost my attention? So you just go to the comment section of my another video and just say that 5 comments are completed on the microorganisms introduction video. I would make the video that will explain in detail about microorganisms. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.